Every November, tables fill with food, families gather, and millions celebrate a holiday they believe symbolizes peace and gratitude. But behind the warm glow of Thanksgiving lies a complicated, misunderstood, and often forgotten history, a story of survival, conflict, myth, and the truth America rarely talks about. Because Thanksgiving isn't just a holiday, it's a legend, shaped over centuries. The story we all know begins in 1620, when the Mayflower, carrying 102 English passengers, crossed the Atlantic and landed in what is now Massachusetts. Cold, sick, and unprepared for the brutal winter, nearly half the settlers died within months. But this part of the story is only half the truth. The land they settled wasn't empty. It was home to the Wampanoag people, a nation that had already suffered devastating losses from European diseases years before the Pilgrims even arrived. Entire villages had collapsed. Fields once full of life became silent. The Pilgrims stepped into a world already scarred by tragedy, and the Wampanoag were watching. In the spring of 1621, something completely unexpected happened. A Wampanoag man named Samoset walked straight into the Plymouth settlement. Speaking English, a language he learned from fishermen along the coast, he introduced the Pilgrims to Tisquannon, better known as Squanto. Squanto's story is incredible. He was a survivor of kidnapping and slavery in Europe, who had made his way back to his homeland only to find his entire village wiped out by disease. Despite this unimaginable loss, Squanto became the key to the Pilgrims' survival. He taught the settlers how to plant corn, catch fish, and live with the land. Without him, the Plymouth colony almost certainly would have failed. That fall, the Pilgrims held a 3-day celebration for their successful harvest. This is the moment we call the first Thanksgiving. But the Wampanoag didn't show up with pies and casseroles because they got a friendly invitation. They arrived because they heard gunfire and musket practice from the settlement, and fearing an attack, came prepared for a fight. When their leader, Ausamaquin, saw it was a celebration, he sent his men out to hunt, and they returned with 5 deer to contribute to the meal. It wasn't the peaceful, planned dinner we see in paintings. It was a tense, diplomatic encounter between two very different worlds, both trying to navigate an uncertain future. For the Wampanoag, it was about assessing these new arrivals and forming a necessary alliance. For the Pilgrims, it was about sheer survival. For a long time after that, there was no annual Thanksgiving holiday. The harvest feast of 1621 was a one-time event. The holiday we know today didn't become a national tradition until 1863, nearly 2.5 centuries later. It was President Abraham Lincoln, in the middle of the Civil War, who declared Thanksgiving a national day of unity and healing. The modern holiday was shaped not by the Pilgrims, but by a nation desperately searching for hope and common ground during its darkest hour. The myth of Pilgrims and Native Americans sharing a friendly meal was promoted to create a unifying origin story for a fractured country. And yet, the real story is far more meaningful than the myth. It's a reminder of incredible resilience, of cultural collision, and of the fragile peace that once existed between peoples. It's a story of generosity from the Wampanoag that helped strangers survive, and a story of survival that later overshadowed the very people who made it possible. Today, for many Native American communities, Thanksgiving is observed as a national day of mourning. It's a solemn reminder of the colonization, the broken treaties, and the centuries of suffering and cultural erasure that followed that first harvest. It's a day to honor their ancestors and to protest the persistence of the Thanksgiving myth. Others see it as a chance to gather, reclaim their traditions, and educate the world about the truth behind the holiday. So, what is Thanksgiving really? Is it a feast of gratitude? A myth rewritten over time? Or is it a moment in history that challenges us to look deeper, to honor not just the story we celebrate, but the complete truth that lies beneath it? Because sometimes, understanding the past is the only way to give real meaning to the present. Thanks for watching.